Within this video we're going to demonstrate how Email to DB version 3 and Email to Cloud are able to integrate with SharePoint along with several other areas. Based on the single set of data, in this example an email, we will perform several tasks, and they will include to validate a sender within SharePoint, post a list item into SharePoint, upload any attachments found within the message through to SharePoint as well, book an appointment with the sender's Exchange calendar, post a tweet through to Twitter, and send a confirmation email back to the sender. To achieve this configuration, we have one single account named SharePoint. Within the account we have a trigger named News Article, and within the trigger we have a condition of looking for the phrase News Article from the subject line. If we go into the extracted fields, we can see that there are 6 fields we're extracting from the message's body. We're not only considering all of the message, we're actually parsing out individual fields from the body content, and also, if needed, the subject line. To give you an example, we can see that we're parsing out the title of the news article from the first line of the body, following on from that using regular expression to pull the date of the news articles published. Also, being as that is not in the correct format, we can reformat the data to fit an international format so that SharePoint can recognize that date. If the news article was an event and we're pulling the location out, we can see that being done on the right hand side here. Also adding to that is the start date and end date of the event. And following on from that, any of the follow-on body content is going to be the body of our news article. If we then look inside the trigger actions, we can see the logic that's in place inside Email to DB to achieve this. Beginning with 2 variables which have been created to store information from SharePoint's return. To begin with, what we do is we validate that the SharePoint user exists. And to do this, we cross-reference the user info list area within SharePoint to see if there is an email address equal to the message from address. If so, we know that this user is valid, and therefore to return their user ID through to the valid user variable of Email to DB. With that being the case, if the valid user variable is not blank, then we proceed into the creation of the list item. This is done using the update item SharePoint list within Email to DB. And we can see inside the actual action itself that we're updating the Email to DB news area, and this is the information which we are passing through from the processed message. Adding to that, we are then returning the ID of the list item through to create ID, so that this can be used for uploading any attachments. To upload attachments, we are using the SharePoint upload files or attachments action, and this can be seen here in action. We are only doing this if attachment counts are greater than 0 and if the create ID is not blank. And we can see here that we're updating the same news article with these attachments. Following on from that, if the event is present, so we have a start and end date inside the body and they've been extracted successfully, then we will process this as an Exchange appointment for the user's calendar who sent through the message, and this will be added automatically through into their calendar as an event or as an appointment. We will then post a tweet to Twitter in reference to the news article's title and send an email to the user just to let them know that the article has been successfully published. Adding to that, a green pop-up will be shown in the right corner of the server of Email to DB or the user's Email to Cloud administrator. If the user is not valid, then they will receive a red pop-up in the bottom right corner and the logic above will be cancelled. So let's give this a test. To test this, I right click on the trigger and select Run With, and I just replace the postmaster here as I'm using the email address to validate with a valid email address. I'll then add an attachment and click Send. We can see the right corner has a pop-up in green to give us the feedback that the process is successful. I'll check SharePoint to see if the article is being successfully published. And we can see here that it has. If I click on the actual SharePoint list item, we can see that the SharePoint attachment has gone through, and adding to that, the article is present as well. If I then go into the Outlook of the user, I can see the email has been sent and received, and in the calendar has been booked for an appointment on the 12th through to the 15th of November. And here is the actual appointment. Adding to that, if I then go through into Twitter, I can see the Parkersoft Twitter page here. If I refresh this, we'll see that the tweet has been added using the title and the static content that I gave it. Thank you for watching.